What if the noise inside your mind was not a sign that something is wrong with you, but a gentle invitation to return home to yourself? After 60, many people believe their minds naturally become heavier with memories, responsibilities, and unspoken fears. But Buddhism teaches something different. The later years of life are not a mental decline. They are a doorway into deeper stillness. You have lived long enough to know that most worries never came true. You have survived every difficult day you once feared, and yet the mind still clings to old patterns. Overthinking, replaying conversations, imagining worst-case scenarios, carrying the weight of yesterday into today. This video is your reminder that peace is not something you have to earn. It is something you can choose right here in this exact breath. These are 7 Buddhist teachings to quiet your mind, soften your thoughts, and create inner freedom after 60. Listen slowly. Let each teaching meet you where you are. This is not about fixing yourself. This is about remembering the calm that has always lived within you. Let's begin. Teaching 1. Return to the breath. Return to yourself. Overthinking often begins when the mind tries to control what it cannot control. It spins stories about the future, replays the past, and creates tension when none is needed. Buddhism teaches that when the mind becomes loud, the first step is always the same: return to the breath. Your breath is the anchor that has stayed with you through every season of your life. It has never abandoned you, never judged you, never asked you to be anything other than present. And yet most people live their entire lives without paying attention to it. They live in their thoughts, not in their bodies. After 60, the breath becomes even more important because it offers something rare: immediate peace. When you feel overwhelmed or mentally unsettled, try this simple Buddhist reminder: where the breath goes, the mind follows. You don't need to force your thoughts to stop. You don't need to fight your mind. Instead, guide your attention gently downward, from the noise in your head to the quiet rhythm in your chest. Imagine your breath as a soft tide. Inhale, the tide comes in. Exhale, the tide goes out. The moment you follow this rhythm, your mind begins to loosen its grip. Buddhism teaches that overthinking is nothing more than the mind's attempt to protect you. But the mind often protects you from shadows, not real dangers. Your breath reminds you of the truth. You are here. You are safe. You are alive in this moment, and this moment is enough. When thoughts come, let them float like clouds. You are the sky, not the weather. This is the heart of mindful breathing. Ask yourself, can I soften my breath right now? Can I let this moment be simple? Can I give myself permission to rest? Even a single conscious breath can interrupt decades of mental habits. The more you return to your breath, the less your mind will wander. The less your mind wanders, the more at peace you become. Your breath is your home. Whenever you feel lost, come back. Teaching 2. Release the weight of past regrets. Overthinking, after 60, often carries a unique flavor: regret. You may find yourself replaying old decisions, wishing you had spoken differently, acted differently, trusted differently. The mind loves to revisit old crossroads, even though the past is untouchable. Buddhism teaches something profoundly freeing. Regret is not a sign that you failed. Regret is a sign that you are growing. The only reason you see your past mistakes so clearly now is because your wisdom has matured. You know more today than you did then. You understand life differently. You see patterns with clarity you didn't have before. Instead of punishing yourself, you can honor your growth. Ask yourself gently, if I knew then what I know now, would I have chosen differently? Of course you would have. That is the proof that you have evolved, not evidence that you have failed. Buddhism reminds us of the principle of kshama, forbearance, forgiveness, patience toward ourselves. It teaches, you are not the person who made those choices. You are the person who learned from them. Imagine carrying a heavy stone in your hands for decades. Over time, the stone becomes familiar. You grow used to the weight, but familiar does not mean necessary. Regret is that stone. Many people believe their past defines them forever. But after 60, you are entering a season where the past can no longer instruct you. It can only inform you. You do not owe your past endless self-punishment. Try this simple practice whenever regret arises. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I release myself. I did the best I could with the heart I had. You don't have to forget your past. You simply stop letting it own your peace. When you release regret, space opens, the mind softens, overthinking slows, and you rediscover something beautiful. Your life is not a story of mistakes. It is a story of becoming. Teaching 3. Calm the mind by interrupting the what-if story. Overthinking is often the mind's attempt to predict pain. It imagines scenarios, creates possibilities, and replays fearful questions. What if something happens to my health? What if I become a burden? What if the future is harder than I can handle? These questions feel protective, but Buddhism teaches that the mind creates suffering by living in imagination instead of truth. Most of the fears you hold now are echoes of younger years, times when uncertainty felt more dangerous, when you had more people relying on you, when life was moving fast. But after 60, your inner landscape changes. You know yourself better. You understand resilience because you've lived it. You've endured loss, illness, heartbreak, and unexpected change, and you're still here. You're stronger than every fear you ever had. The Buddha taught that the mind becomes peaceful when we stop feeding the stories that frighten us. Thoughts gain power through repetition. The more we return to a fear, the larger it becomes. So, the first step is simply recognizing when you're story building. Ask yourself softly, is this happening, or am I imagining it? This question brings the mind back to the present moment, away from the future it's trying to manage. The truth is simple yet liberating. The future does not exist yet. Only this moment does. Your breath is real. Your body is real. This moment is real. The rest is imagination. Buddhism offers a practice called pratipaksha bhavana, the art of replacing harmful thought patterns with gentle ones. When a fearful "what if" arises, you don't fight it, you guide it elsewhere. For example, what if my health declines becomes, I am grateful for the strength I still have today. What if I end up alone becomes, I am learning to enjoy my own presence. What if the future is difficult becomes, I trust myself to meet life as it comes. This isn't denial. It is choosing a wiser path. Overthinking drains your energy. Calming your mind restores it. Another powerful Buddhist insight is the understanding that thoughts are not commands. They are simply mental weather passing through the sky of your mind. You can observe them without obeying them. You can watch them without believing them. Imagine your mind as a vast open field. A fearful thought enters like a traveler passing through. You do not need to talk to it. You do not need to give it a place to rest. You simply acknowledge it and let it keep walking. Try this practice when a what if appears. Pause, breathe, say internally, this is only a thought. Let it drift away. Over time, your mind begins to understand that you are in control, not the fear, not the imagination, not the stories. You have lived too long and learned too much to be frightened by thoughts. You have already met life's hardest moments with courage, and now you are invited to meet your own mind with the same courage, with curiosity, patience, and gentle attention. You don't need to silence every thought. You only need to stop believing the ones that scare you. When you do, peace enters your life the way morning light enters a quiet room. Slowly, softly, naturally. You are not meant to fear the future. You are meant to live the present. Teaching 4. Create inner quiet by simplifying your inner world. One of the reasons the mind becomes noisy after 60 is that you carry too much inside. Too many worries, too many roles, too many stories, too many emotional responsibilities. Buddhism teaches that mental clutter is the source of mental noise. And just as a room feels lighter when you remove unnecessary objects, the mind feels lighter when you remove unnecessary burdens. This stage of life invites you to simplify, not because you are losing anything, but because simplicity creates peace. Ask yourself gently, what am I still thinking about that no longer matters? What responsibilities am I holding that no longer belong to me? What expectations have I outgrown? The truth is, you don't have to carry everything anymore. Your earlier years were for building, raising children, working, striving, shaping a life. But after 60, your soul enters a new season. The season of unburdening. Buddhism teaches the concept of santosha, the quiet joy that comes from contentment and simplicity. When you strip away the unnecessary, old resentments, overcommitment, emotional labor, you make space for peace to enter. Think of your mind as a shelf that has accumulated decades of items. Some are beautiful memories, some are lessons, some are old emotional objects you no longer need. Overthinking often comes from holding what is outdated, trying to manage what no longer aligns with who you are. The mind becomes cluttered, so it becomes loud. To quiet the mind, begin with soft, internal decluttering. Here are a few things you are allowed to release now. 1. The need to please everyone. At this stage, your peace is more important than someone else's temporary comfort. 2. The old roles you once had. parent, provider, leader, caretaker. You can honor those chapters without carrying their demands. 3. The urge to solve everyone's problems. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Your heart deserves rest. 4. The belief that you must always be strong. It is okay to be soft. It is okay to ask for support. It is okay to slow down. Each release creates silence inside you, space for clarity, space for breath, space for calm. Another powerful Buddhist teaching for inner simplicity is noble silence. Not the silence of the mouth, but the silence of the mind. It teaches you to step away from unnecessary thinking, unnecessary worrying, unnecessary mental storytelling. When a thought arises that does not serve your peace, you can whisper internally, "Not this." This soft refusal is an act of self-compassion. It reminds your mind that you are choosing peace, not pressure. As you simplify internally, you may notice something beautiful. Quiet begins to feel natural. Stillness feels like home. Your mind begins to rest without effort. Simplicity is not emptiness. Simplicity is spaciousness. Simplicity is freedom. You have earned the right to live lightly. Let your inner world be a gentle place. Teaching 5. Quiet the mind through radical presence. One of the most powerful Buddhist teachings for stopping overthinking after 60 is profoundly simple. Be where your body is. Overthinking happens when the mind leaves the present moment and enters places the body cannot follow. The past, the future, the imagined, the feared. But your body is always here. Your breath is always here. Your life is always here. Presence is not a technique, it is a returning. You return to your senses, the temperature of the air, the softness of your clothing, the sound nearest to you. You return to the rhythm of your breath. You return to the reality of this moment, quiet, steady, uncomplicated. Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only place where suffering cannot survive. Pain may exist here. Challenge may exist here. But suffering, the mental spiral, the emotional layering, the distortion of fear, comes only when the mind leaves the moment. After 60, presence becomes even more essential because your time becomes more precious. The mind has a habit of wandering into memories or worries out of sheer repetition. But presence interrupts the habit. It returns you to the simplicity you may have spent decades overlooking. Try this gentle practice. As you go about your day, whisper internally, "Come back." When you notice your mind drifting, say again, "Come back." These 2 words are not commands, they are invitations. You are inviting yourself back into the life you are actually living, not the one you remember, not the one you fear, not the one you imagine. When you sit with a warm cup of tea, truly sit with it. When you walk outside, feel the earth beneath your feet. When you listen to someone speak, give them your full presence. Presence softens the mind because it shifts attention away from thinking and towards sensing. Sensing brings you into the body, and the body anchors you in truth. Another simple Buddhist practice is the 3-breath pause. Take 3 slow breaths. With each breath, let your attention sink deeper into the present. Just 3 breaths can interrupt a spiral that might have lasted hours. Presence is not about forcing silence. It is about noticing life. The mind becomes quiet, not because you silence it, but because you stop feeding it with stories. You start feeding it with awareness instead. The more you practice presence, the more you realize something profound. The present moment is spacious. It has room for peace. It has room for breath. It has room for you. You deserve moments that feel alive. Presence gives them to you. Teaching 6. Speak to yourself with compassion, not criticism. Many people over 60 carry a quiet, unspoken harshness toward themselves. A voice inside that criticizes, blames, or demeans. This inner critic fuels overthinking. It turns small mistakes into heavy burdens. It makes the mind restless and the heart uneasy. Buddhism teaches that the mind becomes peaceful when the heart becomes gentle. Compassion is not something you give only to others. It is something you extend to yourself. Ask yourself, how do I speak to myself when I am alone? If the answer is unkindly, then you have discovered one of the roots of your overthinking. The Buddha taught, you, yourself, deserve your love and affection as much as anyone else in the universe. Self-compassion does not mean avoiding responsibility. It means avoiding cruelty. Imagine speaking to a beloved friend the way you speak to yourself. Would you criticize them for aging? Would you scold them for mistakes from decades ago? Would you shame them for being human? Of course not. You would offer softness. You would offer understanding. You would offer comfort. So why not offer that same grace to yourself? Self-compassion quiets the mind because it removes the internal battle. When you stop fighting yourself, your thoughts stop fighting you. Try this simple Buddhist practice called Maitri, the cultivation of loving kindness. Place your hand on your heart and say softly, "May I be gentle with myself. May I forgive myself. May I be patient with my mind." Repeating this daily, even once, begins to retrain the mind toward kindness. Another way to practice self-compassion is to challenge the inner critic. Not aggressively, just curiously. When a harsh thought arises, ask, is this thought true? Is this thought kind? Is this thought helpful? If the answer is no, you can let it pass without giving it power. You do not have to believe every voice inside you. You do not have to obey every thought. You can choose which thoughts receive your attention. After 60, compassion becomes not just healing, it becomes essential. Life becomes lighter. The mind becomes softer. You become a safe place for yourself. A compassionate inner voice quiets the mind more effectively than any forceful technique, because peace cannot grow in the soil of self-judgment. It grows only where there is warmth. Speak to yourself the way you wish others had spoken to you, with understanding, with patience, with love. Your mind will listen. Your heart will respond, and your entire inner world will become more peaceful. Teaching 7. Release control and trust the flow of life. There comes a time, especially after 60, when you realize something quietly profound. So much of life is outside your control. You cannot control what others think. You cannot control the past. You cannot control aging. You cannot control every outcome, no matter how much you worry about it. Yet the mind clings. It clings to what it wants, to how it thinks life should be, to ideas of safety or perfection that were never truly attainable. And this clinging is what creates turmoil. It is what fuels overthinking. Buddhism teaches that peace begins when resistance ends. When you stop demanding that life obey your expectations, the mind finally softens. Not because everything becomes perfect, but because you stop fighting what already is. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means giving yourself permission to stop carrying what was never yours to hold. You may notice that many of your thoughts revolve around trying to predict, prevent, or control. And yet, despite years of effort, life has always unfolded in its own mysterious way. Some events brought joy, some brought loss, some brought lessons you could never have anticipated. Life does not need your control, it needs your presence. One of the most calming Buddhist practices is simply asking yourself, what am I holding that I can set down? You may be holding expectations of how others should behave. You may be holding regrets about decisions you can no longer change. You may be holding fears about a future that has not arrived. Try loosening your grip just a little, not forcing, just allowing. Imagine placing those burdens beside you like heavy stones you've carried for far too long. The moment you release even one, your mind feels lighter, your breath deepens, your body softens. Letting go also means trusting the natural flow of life. Trusting that you have weathered every storm so far and you will weather whatever comes next. Trusting that you do not need all the answers to rest. Trusting that life continues to support you in ways both visible and unseen. In Buddhism, this trust is called faith in the unfolding. It is not blind, it is not passive. It is a quiet confidence that you are part of something larger, something wise, something steady. When you trust the flow of life, overthinking loses its fuel. You stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You stop trying to change what cannot be changed. You stop living in a mental world that exhausts you. Instead, you return to the simplicity of being. Letting go is both a practice and a relief. You do not have to do it all today. You simply loosen your grip, breath by breath, moment by moment. And slowly, gently, you rediscover the calm that was always waiting beneath the surface of your thoughts. As you continue on your path, remember this: your mind is not your enemy. It is simply a traveler that learned to wander. These teachings are here to guide it home, back to presence, back to compassion, back to peace. You have earned a life that feels lighter. You have earned inner stillness. And every small practice you take from these teachings will support you, one quiet moment at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your mind feel spacious, may your heart feel soft, and may peace walk beside you wherever you go.